I love this. I love what's going on here in America.
Large crowd is growing at the border as migrants hope to gain entry into the U.S., with Title 42 ending in just a few days. Good evening. Thanks so much for joining us. I'm Marcella.
No, thanks for joining us with your fucking hexagon fucking earrings, you cunt.
This surge is something Customs and Border Protection have been bracing for, and it is hitting hard. CBS 8's Steve Price is live at the border tonight with a first-hand look. Steve?
And Marcella, I can tell you that just from last night to right now, the crowd out here has grown significantly. And I want to focus your attention on the border fence itself, because this is something we didn't see just yesterday. These blankets that are tied out here, it's a way for the folks out here to try and protect themselves from the sun. Some people have actually set up tents. They are bracing for several more days out here in these very tough conditions.
But they all have very clean clothes on. Do you notice that? I gotta ask this. I mean, it's just, something not right here. They're in the Texas border. Do you know how fucking hot it is down there? Would you have a winter coat on?
They quickly gather every time anyone from Border Patrol shows up, hoping this will be the time they're chosen to begin the asylum process.
I've been here 4 days.
Oh, you speak very good English for somebody that's not from this country. Yeah, that's a nice looking eyeball. Yeah, nah, there's something else going on down there. But it is funny because you people in Europe let Israel do this to your countries. Now they're doing it to ours. And it's all because Americans are fucking stupid. Israel took over our immigration in 1965. They fought it, we fought it and fought it and fought it and fought it, and finally they paid off the right people and they took our immigration system. And this is what you get.
Brian Scott's lips are sunburned, and he, like many out here, hasn't eaten for days.
See, here's the law. The immigration was really set up for shit like Vietnam, when those people really did have to get out of there. Not because you wanted to come here for a job. You need a job. Doesn't qualify you to invade another country. But it does if Israel is behind it. Nobody will stand up and say that fucking J word.
But for a chance at a better life than what he had in Jamaica, he said...
In their own words, they said, look, we're destroyers. That's what we do. I mean, that's their words. That's not me. They plan the destruction of countries. It's what they do. It's their own writings. I didn't make that stuff up. I don't know any of them personally. I can see what they're doing, though.
As it's worth it.
And you're either going to get killed by the police, you're going to get killed by gangsters, or you're going to rot in jail. And I don't want none of that for me. I'm just 28 now.
Oh, yes, you're just so sincere. Why? It's fucking 99 degrees down there. Why would this guy be standing there dressed like this, and this dude has this on? That's a winter coat.
Frustration out here is growing. The situation seems unorganized.
Yeah, everybody else is in shorts, and that guy's got a winter coat on. Look.
Border Patrol handing out numbers on tickets, but then randomly choosing groups of 50 or so that get to begin the process.
So why you give us this and you don't take us? And you take random people that just came maybe 1 day ago or 2 days ago. I'm here 4 days now. I can't live like this.
Well, then you shouldn't have come up here, asshole. Didn't you have some place where you were living before you came here?
I'm just trying to live a better life.
Human.
Well, good. Then go home and make it a better life. Why do you... This is Israel's doing. I'll tell you what's very odd about this picture right here. This is where they fuck things up. Look real close right here. Watch. Go straight up this guy's back. You see that line? Look. Watch. That's not natural. This is digitally enhanced. I do not think we're seeing what we're really supposed to be seeing. See that line? It's too straight.
Human rights organizations from the U.S. have been handing out food and water. And look at this, volunteers charging dozens of cell phones so the migrants can stay in touch with loved ones back.
Loved ones. Fuck off. Yeah, pink, yellow, and blue. And green, there's the green. You don't always get that, but sometime you do. There it is. Pink, yellow, blue, green. Right there. The pink, yellow, and blue is telling me that this is all being directed by mommy and by fucking Israel.
Back home, the crowd out here noticeably larger than just a day ago, with more women and children. The
Get the fuck out of here.
fear is that the growing chaos will lead to violence.
Well, I'm hoping so. That's what Israel wants. I mean, my position is this country is over. It's done. It is. It's just it's slowly dying. They're doing it in stages so that the average person will stay dumb, and they will. And thank you, Christians, for backing Israel. Thank you very much. Thank you for backing a group of people that never had anything to do with any of that stuff that was written in the Bible. But that's okay. Keep believing your fairy tales. There's a creator, and it damn sure got nothing to do with these fuckers. But it's okay. Thank you, Christianity. You know, and I can say that because I came from that. You know, I came from that. You know what the joke is, though? You know, there's far more truth in the occult than there would ever be in Christianity, because the occultists wrote your book. That's why you can't understand it. Because the Kabbalists, King James and his fucking band of merry men, you know, wearing leather pants and girly underwear, they wrote your Bible. That's why you can't decipher it. Because you don't understand the occultic principles and the way they tie together. But keep believing it the way you're believing it. You're doing a fine job.
Hope that Border Patrol could provide a little bit of more structure, a little bit of more process, even if they know that they're going to be waiting here for a while. It would make sense to provide some basic information to the people so that they can collaborate collectively.
Our camera spotted an ambulance taking away a pregnant woman, but others with serious health concerns are left behind, including Brian, who suffers from lupus. He desperately needs medicine, but would rather stay here and take his chances than return to Jamaica.
Well, how did he live all that time to 28 years in Jamaica? Excuse me, do I have this right? He's from Jamaica? Is that not an island? So what are you telling me? The dude got in a rowboat, rowed to land, and then I'm lost here. How does that work?
I stay to the last day till they take me in, because I know I need better. I don't want better. I need it.
Well, yeah, but it's not my responsibility to give it. See, you know, you don't see this going on in Israel. You know why? Because they got a big fence all the way around their shit where they need it to keep people out. Netanyahu said, we won't take any immigrants because if we do, we will cease to be a Jewish nation. That's what he said. Those are his words. But it's okay if we flood America so that the Americans no longer exist, and let's flood Europe so that the individual countries there no longer exist. Gee whiz, doesn't it seem like it's kind of slighted for one side or the other? Why is it that Israel gets, I don't know, it's a real brain teaser.
And just about 30 minutes ago, one of the advocates went up to a woman on the other side of the border and said, how many children do you see there right now? And she said, there are at least 20. We saw one mom holding her young child in her arms. At this point, they just don't know what to do next. We are seeing people from Latin America, from Southern America. We're seeing people from Eastern Europe. They are coming from all over, gathering here.
Eastern Europe, huh? So they're just everywhere in the world's coming right to that spot. If you guys only knew the deception that Israel has played on you. You know, this whole biblical thing that, you know, these Christians hang on to. You know, did you ever stop to think why the fucking Pope wears a goddamn yarmulke? Because he works for those fuckers, you idiot. It's their biker regalia. And why does the New Testament, Jesus, that's a Hebrew name, but Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, which are the four major guys in the New Testament, well, Paul was of one too, but we'll just say those guys, Matthew, Mark, Luke, John, those names aren't even Hebrew. Isn't that interesting? Where was Chuck and Bob? What, they couldn't get their essays in on time, so they didn't get included? The occultist wrote your book. It's why you can't understand it. It's why you can't understand that there's more than one person talking in there. And they're talking about more than one person. Lords and gods and this and that. And you would think it's all the same. You don't understand the occultist wrote your King James authorized version. Because King James was backrolled by the Kabbalist Talmudic Jews. They told him what was okay to put in there and what wasn't okay to put in there. You do realize that the Jewish, what you would call the Jewish Bible, has way more books than the Christian one does. How does that work? I've showed you where they said, stop considering yourself a Christian, Judeo, anything. That the two religions are so different, they exclude one another. But yet you still run to support them. Here's the color code right here, the blue and the white. Those are Israeli colors. Remember what I told you? Blue and white is Israeli, black and yellow is German, red and blue is Masonry, green and black is Arabic. These are gangland colors. They're big gangs, and they know what to look for. They know who owns that station just by looking at the color code. But make sure you go to church on Sunday. It's more important that you pray to their version of what you think God is. Until you find out God is your mother.
Because they've been told it will be easier to get in once Title 42 ends later this week, but at this point they really don't know what's going to happen next. They're all just hoping they can get some information. Marcella?
Steve, I don't think a lot of people know what's going to happen. So you have this.
Well, if you know how that shit is set up, go ask the Europeans that got overrun by the immigrants that went there. Here's how the game works, just so you understand how this immigration shit works. You go into a country, and remember what I told you, problem, reaction, solution? You go into a country, you create a problem. We'll call it a war, right? And you make it really bad for people, and then you go to a neighboring country, and you say, oh, come here, come here, come here, so you can escape. And then these people all flood out of there into this other country, and guess what? Now that country becomes financially unstable. Their medical system starts to break down. Oh, but we have to help these people. But you're the ones that started the shit. Do you understand? This is how this works. It's the reason for these wars. You create the war, you make it a terrible place to live, and then you offer these people a way to get out. But they never suspect you're the one that started the war to get you to fucking get out. And then once they leave, they go in and they take the property rights to the fucking thing. This thing reads like a comic book. Oh, but pray for Israel.
There's growing frustration, but the people are there because they have so much hope.
They're not there because they got hope. They got so much hope.
Any idea what's going to happen on Thursday?
Yes, you get a free Biden t-shirt.
At this point, they don't know. They've been given those numbers. They've been lining up to try to help Border Patrol. But at this point, they're just saying, hey, just tell us what the process is. Tell us what you want us to do. And they're not getting that information at this point, so they are extremely frustrated.
Exactly. They're extremely frustrated, and they're hoping with the heat. Well, obviously, it won't affect the guy that's got the winter jacket on, but they're hoping with the heat and the water situation, all that people will become violent. Don't you people grasp this? Up until 1965, the United States fought the Jewish lobbyists to keep immigration out of their fucking hands. And in 1965, they paid off the right fucking people and they took control of it. And now Israel, the shadow government of the United States, is the one that's behind every bit of this. And I'm sorry, I know that there's good Jewish people in Israel and the United States. I know there are. But the bottom line is, why aren't you guys stepping up and telling your own fucking people to knock it the fuck off? Why do we got to do it?
But as bad as these conditions are out here, Marcella, and they're burning trash at night to try and stay warm, they say it's better than going back to our country where we're afraid we're going to be killed. When I talked to one person...
Oh, cut that out. And they're burning trash at night to stay warm? Well, that is one thing that's true about the desert, because when I hitchhiked across the United States twice, and I remember being in Arizona, and it was hot. It got hot. I mean, like, incredibly, like over 100. But at night, that shit would drop down. You know, when I was in Phoenix, I mean, this sounds insane, but it's true. I worked construction. We went to work at midnight and got off at 8 in the morning. It'll be like 110, 115. And then at night, it would drop down to like 90 degrees and your teeth would be chattering. And you say, well, how can that be? It's because of that 30 degree difference. Your body doesn't go, oh, well, and when you were living in Illinois, you didn't do that. It's just that difference. I mean, it would be 90 degrees and your teeth would be chattering.
Out here last week, he told me the day he left to start his journey, one of his best friends was murdered.
Steve, each one of these migrants has a story, and hopefully...
I got a story for you. Fuck Israel. That's my story. Let's see what other kind of trash they're talking about.
If you were suddenly stuck with a huge bill, all because of someone else's mistake. Now, this could happen to anyone who hires people to do work at their homes.
So what happened here, a desperate homeowner contacted KPRC2 investigator Amy Davis when the contractors caused thousands of dollars worth of damage. And that...
Oh, fuck off. It was done by the immigrants coming through the border.
Meantime, immigration attorneys are trying to dispel information ahead of Title 42 expiring. They say hundreds of migrants are heading to the border without an understanding of what the change in policy and the consequences they can face.
No, there are no consequences. Again, here's your color code, blue and white. It's owned by Israel. And there's the South Pole of Saturn. You might call it an eye. It's not. It's the South Pole of Saturn. You know who you don't see trying to get in here? You don't see Hindus trying to get in here. You know why? Because when they come here, they actually fucking work. They should interview like one at the border, and he'd be like, I am trying to get into America because it is dangerously underpopulated. Also, there's not enough 7-Elevens or Quickie Marts.
CSA's Regina Yarita is live at the San Isidro border tonight where migrants say they were misguided. Regina?
Yeah, well, one of the biggest lies that are being told is that once Title 42 ends, that means the border will open, and that's obviously not the case. What we're seeing is hundreds of migrants still waiting to get processed. A lot of them came with the assumption that they would get processed immediately. That's also not the case. That's why we're witnessing people camping here. Many of them are using trash bags as blankets, as well as those silver blankets. Now, it is expected that hundreds of other migrants could come to the border, and that's bringing even more concern to how many people have become vulnerable.
See that shit on the other side of the fence? That's what's going to happen on this side of the fence. Nobody's stopping these people from getting in, and they're not being lied to. This is a show that they're putting on to say, oh no, yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, we won't let them in. Bullshit. That's the reason they sent the 1,500 soldiers to the border, is to help the processing go quicker, not to stop them. As a matter of fact, they'll only have their own personal pistols, and that's just for self-defense. There's no force down there at all.
To misinformation.
Migrants from all over the world hoping to get into the United States are now stuck waiting at the San Isidro border.
Yes, let's wait on them hand and foot. Can't you see what Israel's done to us? Don't you understand what they've done? They created the COVID problem, which in the second and third worlds, those people didn't have the resources like we had, and those places fell hard. These people got no choice but to fucking run because their economy was decimated. I get it, I do. Unfortunately, that nobody's trying to kill you. If you look at Israel, you understand they're trying to kill you. And there's always going to be people like Israel that take advantage of a bad situation. See there you go. There's your black and your white. There's your advertising for the Pharisees. Got to make sure she's almost dead nut in the center of the picture because they got to give props to their fucking Talmudic fucking overlords.
But many of them have very little knowledge of what...
They created the COVID crisis. The COVID was in the shot. That word COVID is on the King Solomon seal. It's QVOD. Usually, you would think that it means honor and all of this, but it doesn't. It's tied in with the whole mother thing. It means mommy, which is death. You remember when we invaded Baghdad? Remember they said, "Oh, it's shock and awe. Oh, it's shock and awe," and it was nothing but death and destruction. No, that was a play on words, the Hebrew or the Jewish word, Shekinah. Shekinah, George Bush. Oh, it's going to be shock and awe. Shock and awe. And they sold it to the American people that went over there and ransacked and raped and destroyed it.
What will happen after Title 42 ends and the U.S. starts observing Title 8. It's why some have been fueled by false information on social media and word of mouth. I was at the border this evening.
Hey, look, a Mexican that actually speaks Mexican instead of English.
Talking to migrants who say they don't know the immigration policies that the U.S. has or the strict consequences that will come with Title 8, which allows the expedited removal of migrants.
What do you mean expedited? You know how this works? Okay, so I've been in the tree business for 41 years. And it's standard around here that there's a lot of Mexicans that, you know, they're not necessarily working up in the tree, they work the ground and they do landscaping. And I would ask these guys when I was their foreman, how did you wind up in Illinois from fucking Tijuana or, you know, wherever in Mexico? And they told me straight out, he said, when you come through the desert, they set up water stations. Okay? They set up water stations, and that's because we can't have people trying to get in here illegally and starving to death and, you know, thirsting to death. And he said, when we got to the border, there's a sign that said, go to Aurora, Illinois. And that's a fucking fact. And the fucking, the Jews have been behind this whole thing using this humanitarian bullshit. You know, oh, well, you know, it's illegal for them to come in, but we need to put up water stations in the Mexico desert so that they don't die on the way here. The desert was a part of the keeping you out thing. Go ahead and try and weasel your way into Russia or China. You'll get shot, I promise you, you will. Maybe you'll get lucky and they'll just beat you senseless and throw you back over. You guys don't see the game Israel's played on America, but pray for Israel. Yes, Christians, raise your hands to Baal, because you never caught the joke. That actor, Christian Bale, did you never catch on what they were telling you? Christian Bale. Christian Bale. Christian Bale. Oh yeah, keep on worshiping Christian Bale. You dumb fuckers.
This Ecuadorian woman named Miriam says she decided to make the journey after hearing from other migrants that the U.S. would accept asylum seekers into the U.S. once Title 42 is lifted. She also adds that people have been hearing the message of an open...
So who's this one that they're queuing in on? And what bitch would be dumb enough to be walking around down there with all that going on with a purse on?
Border. It's what's prompted immigration attorneys to share with migrants their message.
Yeah, they need the plastic bag. Now, they're not going to pick up none of that trash. They're putting their legs in it.
Do not be deceived.
That once it's gone, they can just show up at the border and claim asylum, and they're going to let them in, and there's going to be all good, no issues. And that's not what's going to happen.
You know what's interesting that they're not showing you is, why don't you let us talk to some of the real people on this side of the fence, okay? Because they're already overrun. Why aren't they interviewing those people? Because those people go get them the fuck out of here.
For migrants, it's already affected their immigration process. This woman from Colombia says she was misguided by what she believes were...
Cut that out. Cut that out. She wasn't misguided by anything. And Colombians, as a rule, I do know one guy that came up here illegally. But they don't. Does it look like she walked 1,000,000 miles? That broad's pretty. She would have been raped, I can guarantee you. So, no. She's probably a contact of some sort. She was the one walking around with a purse.
For smugglers who deceived her and told her she would be able to cross the border from the port of entry. She says she was detained immediately and was sent back to Mexico, where she remains. With Title 42 expiring under Title...
That's interesting. A 3 with a rabbit's head on it. Well, the 3 is your Saturn thing. There's the fucking Archon. Good fucking grief.
April 8th, the Biden administration will enforce a new rule that bars some migrants from applying for asylum in the U.S. if they cross the border illegally or fail.
They're all gonna cross illegally because they don't fucking belong here. You know, just because a bank door is open does not give you permission to go in the fucking bank. You have to have business to conduct there. Otherwise, you're asked to leave. The sooner, and I'm sorry, because there's a lot of good Jewish people, but I'm just using that name. This is the fucking Jews that have done this. If you go read on immigration, you'll know that they were behind it. Every bit of it, fucking from beginning to end. In their own writing, they say it's our way to destroy other nations. It's what they do. It isn't me saying this. I'm not picking on them. By birth, I'm Jewish. I've never practiced. I've never had anything to do with it. I was raised Lutheran, right? So I was born Jewish. I was raised Lutheran Christian. I know the occult real well. And I'm going to make this statement, and you better get it through your fucking head. The truth lies in the occult. It does not lie in your organized religions, which is organized crime. It's why the Pope wears a yarmulke. It's all based on money. It's all based on money. I don't know what to tell you. And there's one group that runs that shit with an iron fucking fist, and it ain't the North Koreans.
To first apply for asylum in another country.
And earlier today, Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador announced that the end of Title 42 nearing is already causing more smugglers to encourage migrants to cross into the U.S. illegally. Right now, the people waiting here, they're just waiting.
Yeah, the reason why they're doing that is because the smugglers don't want them getting in here for free because they won't make no money in the smuggling business. Did you see that guy that ran over all those people? They arrested him. It was like the next day after the shooting or before or whatever. Well, that's the cartels doing that. Because they want to make that so bad that they'll put Title 42 back in place and that won't affect their business. That's why those people attacked Hispanics. That's why that Hispanic guy attacked Hispanic guys. Because it's like, nope, you don't get in here for free. You want to get into America, you're going to pay us. You guys don't understand. You don't get it. You know, and it's not like I'm just picking on one group of people here. You know, I'm one guy and I'm frustrated and I can see the game that's being played and I can't help. I can't help. Read the comments on these stupid ass videos that these people like migrants being misinformed. I'll never vote for so-and-so. It ain't about voting, dude. Your vote never counted. These guys live in these people that live in America live in a fairy tale world where they think, you know, voting is an ego thing. It's an ego thing. People that are Republicans think, well, I voted Republican. And Democrats, I voted Democrat. Because you think you're special, that your thought means something to an establishment that lives outside of this country. Washington, D.C., if you didn't know, has nothing to do with the United States. It's a corporation that sat on sovereign land. Okay? It's why when, after their fake January 6th storming the White House, they put the big fence up. Because it's corporate. It isn't part of America. It never was. It was another really tricky thing that the Jews did. You know what else they did that was tricky? The 13th Amendment of the United States that they conveniently removed without the right procedures, said that basically if you are of a royal family or you are a lawyer, you cannot run or hold any public office. Now, go look at Congress and the Senate. What are most of them boys? Well, they're lawyers. They took it out because it kept the Jews out. I'm sorry that name keeps coming up over and over again. But it's true. It's a fact. And you're just going to have to learn to live with it. They're no different than us. They sold the white Western world a bullshit story that they were tied in with some type of divinity, and they're not. They're not. They're not tied in with shit. Those guys that are over there are not even, well, never mind. This is so frustrating for me. I mean, it in a way, this is comical for me, watching this country fucking fall apart. It's priceless to see the idiotic looks on their faces, the people. Because, you know what? You had your whole life to look into this stuff, to figure out how things work. And nobody does. So, when the time came to have intelligence about what's going on, you had none. And so this is what you get. And so people will run to the voting polls because Donald Trump's coming back in 24 and he's going to fix the country. No, he's not. They stole the last 2 elections. Why would he? Are you out of your mind? And you didn't do anything. The fact is you didn't do anything. So now they know that they don't have to worry about any resistance. And they know that when they come to get your guns, there'll be no resistance too. They're just waiting. They're waiting to get the digital. And I know this because I have my own sources. Alex Jones ain't the only one. They're about 2 years out from implementing the full-on digital currency. It's less than 2 years. Okay? They're doing a little bit, but I mean before the whole full-on thing, about a little less than 2 years. Once they get that in place, if you don't turn over your fucking gun, your money will be shut off. So where does that come from? Israel has been trying to set up a central bank in this country for years. And they've been blocked, they've been blocked. They didn't get in. The sellouts gave away immigration, but they haven't got complete control of the banking system completely, totally. Yeah, they run the finances, but they want a central bank. A central bank gets rid of all the other little banks where the cashier or the manager might like you there. No. This thing will be like a fucking octopus, and it will have one central point of where the operations go on. And if we don't like you and you're on a digital ID, which is what they're doing, they will shut you the fuck off. And you won't be able to buy food. And especially you people that got kids. You know, I always complained because, you know, I was never like big with the ladies and stuff. But I sat by and watched all my friends get married and all of that bullshit and have kids. I weep for you. But I laugh at the same time. Because I was so fucking ugly, I couldn't get a date. But there was a silver lining to it. Because now, I don't got to sit there and watch my kids die. Or starve to death. Or be tortured. So, kudos to the creator for that one. The bottom line is anybody that's bringing a kid into this world, you're fucked. And they're going to use that kid as a bargaining chip against you for the rest of your life, however long that might be. No woman is going to sit there and watch her husband protect his gun when that kid's starving. She will turn that fucking gun in and get her carbon credits to go get some food for that kid. Watch. You will see the overtaking of and taking the guns from most people will be with the threat that you won't get your paycheck. You'll see. There will be some diehards, absolutely there will be, and there'll be some diehard women, but they will be few and far in between. Because you know why? You haven't used the fucking things yet, so you're not going to. And you can talk all the smack you want to about, oh, if they do this, we're going to do this. Oh, do this. No, you're not going to do any of that. You won't, because you didn't. And it ain't just this generation. The generation behind us could have done it. They could have done it. This shit was going on back then. Yeah, you had the Vietnam and all of that. Nobody did anything. Nobody stormed the United States Congress. Nobody did any of that stuff. Because nobody's going to. There's no cavalry coming to save us. Alex Jones's information war is doing nothing. Telling people that you're going to break their legs doesn't make you their friend. We're just telling you we're going to break your legs. Well, okay, so what's the miracle in all of that shit? You get it? You follow what I'm saying? Alex Jones is tied in with the CIA and the Mossad. It's a data collecting organization. They check the IPs. You buy shit with your credit card, so they put you on file to supporting anti-government dude. Right? That's all that is. And he tells you, oh, be calm, don't do anything. Well, he doesn't need to say that because nobody's going to do anything. But you know, it really comes down to he's the guy that's choking you to death and going, shh, don't fight it. Just let it happen. Don't fight it. Ooh, isn't this terrible? I'm choking you. Oh, it's the worst. But don't fight it. Don't fight it. That's his job. That's his job. And to deflect that word Israel or Jews off to the left or the right. And tell you, oh, it's the Bilderberger group, or it's the globalists, or it's the Chi-Coms. The fuck out of here. It's one group and one group only. The thing is that they work through a bunch of other groups. They call that a proxy. You see? And so they do that so that nobody ever looks and sees them doing it directly. But after you looked at it for so long, it becomes evidenced by the manipulation and who's who, and watching, you know, people in Congress and the Senate always worrying about Israel. And then, of course, if you know the biblical background of it, America and Britain are the Egyptian stepchildren of Israel. That's fact. Right? Manasseh and Ephraim. And that's why America and Britain will never, ever, never, ever, 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 ever turn their back on Israel, because Israel is mother. And America will be sacrificed. Britain will not. America will. And they're in the process of doing it right now. They only needed it. Listen, they only needed America to beat the living shit out of every other country that didn't go along with their plan. That's all they needed us for. Britain wasn't big enough. Britain had a long, long history of being a very warlike country, but they just weren't fucking big enough. And so, Britain's little brother, America, was born and became a great nation only because it was supposed to be. It wasn't. When they tell you, oh, God put his hand on America, that they're talking about the Jews. They invested the money. They built it. It's really their country. They built this fucking place. We didn't. We went to work and did shit, but they put the money in and they did it all. It really is their country. But the bottom line is everything that they've done is by deception. It's by deception, and that's where my anger lies. It's that, you know, how many times are they going to do the same card trick before you figure out he's got the card in his hand? Why can't you look and see? He's holding it right there. But you keep falling for the same trick. It's okay. I mean, whatever. We're all going down in flames here. There will be no Renaissance in the United States because the fuckers that built it and infiltrated it and destroyed it, or that are destroying it, will not let that happen. It's not part of their Talmudic religion. You know, they're the ones that wrote that shit to everything, turn, a time to live and a time to die shit. They wrote all of that. This creation was already supposed to have been over a long time ago. But they didn't. They made it go into a big circle. You know that bullshit story by Disney? The Circle of Life or whatever the fuck that was? Yeah, where the lion, gee whiz, that wouldn't be Israel, would it? Right? The Circle of Life or whatever that fucking Disney movie was? Fuck off.
To finally start their claim. Reporting at the border, I'm Regina Urita. I'll send things back to you.
You know what would be great? If somebody reached over with like a rope or an extension cord and grabbed her around the throat and pulled her head so tight up to that thing that they just strangled her. I know it. I might be becoming a little morbid in my fucking anger, but I would sit there and watch it and laugh. I would. Because they're going to be doing that to every one of us. They're doing it right now. They already started it with the COVID shit. That didn't come out of any Chinese lab. It came out of fucking Israel. It's a biological fucking weapon. The thing that got everybody sick was a low-grade military aerosol spray that got everybody sick and scared. And so people ran to get the shot thinking that what was in the air that made them sick was COVID. It wasn't. It was a military-grade biological weapon that you spray on the battlefield to make soldiers get sick so they can't get up and fight. That's what that was. The COVID shit is in the shot itself. The mRNA spike proteins, oh, you're going to love that shit. It's already killing people all over the place. You'll see. But don't forget to pray for Israel. Don't forget to pray for Israel. It's very important that you pray for Israel because they're our savior. Isn't it interesting that all of these news things have octagons behind them? Gee, I guess that means Israel owns them.
42 will expire, and a surge of migrants seeking asylum is expected.
Fox 5's Elizabeth Alvarez joining us live from the border with a look at the conditions right now and what is next for the migrants. Elizabeth.
Yeah, what is next? Still undetermined, and there is, I can tell you, a lot of fear, especially from the families that we are starting to talk to. More and more migrants from all over the world, in fact, we are meeting, including a family I just met, traveled all the way here from Africa, the Republic of Guinea, a husband, a wife, and their one-year-old child.
Oh, they came from Guinea, did they? I see. I see.
And they're telling me that their child is sick.
See, they give you these bullshit crybaby stories because you got to understand, when you're dealing with the devil, Israel, when you're dealing with the devil, everything is contractual. That's why you see in the cartoons and the movies, every time you deal with the devil, he has you sign a contract because contracts are how you make deals. It's contractual. It means both sides have to agree. Right? So this is to get you to go, oh, it's okay, just let him in. The poor kid. Fuck that kid. I'm sorry that sounds rough. It does. But fuck that kid. I don't care. And if you guys don't have any balls, ladies too, you better grow a pair because I'm telling you, it's going to get way worse.
That this little boy is not feeling well. I have mom here. Fatuma, can you tell us what is happening right now? She had pleaded for some help. Her husband is here. I think she wants us to talk to her husband. Her husband is on his way, and he had pulled,
Yeah, she wants her husband. I tell you what happened. This no good, down lazy motherfucker. I told him, you better get a job, sucker. And he told me I better shut up and get out and start working the streets. And I said, Daddy, I can't make no money wearing these 4/4 shoes. I can't make no money. I'm not going to go suck a dick for a cheeseburger. If you want me to get the cheeseburger, I'll give you a cheeseburger handy and a ditto for a fry. But that's it. Word out. See you later, sucker.
Actually asked to talk to me. What is happening?
And where's the food stamp?
I understand your child is not feeling well right now?
Yes, my child is really sick. I'm on the border to the United States. I came here to seek help, that I don't want to lose him here.
How come you didn't go to Israel to seek help? Oh, I'm sorry, Israel isn't taking on any new customers. Imagine that. But go to America.
Describe what's happening. I mean, he's
blue and white. This is all Israel, man.
Lethargic. You were saying that he's not eating.
He's not eating right now. He's not drinking anything. He have fever, so he's like sleepy.
Yeah, well, that's usually what happens when you're sleeping. Don't you understand? This is one of these bullshit stories that's supposed to make you fight to let these people in. Fuck that kid. I don't care. I don't give a shit how bad it sounds to you guys. Fuck that kid. There's a billion stories just like that. Real ones. Not made up crap. Real ones.
So now I'm really afraid to lose him right now.
Then why did you move? You moved a sick kid all that way? I'm supposed to believe that?
You came all the way from Africa. You said you arrived.
You came all the way from Africa with a sick kid. There was nobody in Africa or the Congo or nowhere around there that had any medicine. Only right there at the gate, up. It's just the only place we can go. You came from the fucking Congo. From fucking Africa to that gate?
Arrived yesterday. Did you know that it was going to be like this? What did you imagine? What did you think?
I
was expecting to get some goddamn food stamps. I was gonna go down to Hookie's and get me a cheeseburger, bitch. What's up, so Saeed?
I knew it will be harder, but not like this. I couldn't risk his life to come until here. I came here to let him have a good life.
Yeah, but here's the thing. We don't owe you a good life. We don't owe you a good life. We don't owe you shit. The raising of this Title 42, basically what it is it's bypassing what you would call immigration. Basically, it's just trying to get into this country before, it took years. It did. You had to pay money, and, it was a lot of legal fees and shit. But this, raising the Title 42, is just like, come on in, come on in, come on in, come on in. We're not going to check anything, just come on in. Because it's what's called replacement migration. Replacement migration means we're going to do away with all the white people. We can't have no more whiteys. So we'll flood your countries with refugees that we created from wars and starvation from fucking COVID. And then they'll come in, the crime rate will soar, the hospitals will crash, there'll be no money. It's all part of their fucking Judeo-communistic takeover. And by communism, I mean Satanism. And I don't give a fuck how many Jews get pissed off about that. Go read your own fucking religion and understand your Talmudic fucking legal fucking experts, whatever they are the ones that have been tied into the dark side forever. And I'm pretty sure most of you religious Jews know that. Have you ever heard this? When they celebrate the Seder, they'll tell you it means this or that. Do you know what a Seder is? A demon. They just changed the spelling. And the six-pointed star has nothing to do with David. David didn't have a star. It's the six-pointed star of Saturn. Go look up the six-pointed star of Saturn, and you'll see it's exactly what's on the Israeli flag. You want to know why? Because in the antiquities, it was written by Philobiblis. He said Saturn, whom the Phoenicians called Israel. So here you have a country called Israel with the star of Saturn on their flag. And yet the Phoenicians called Saturn Israel, yet it's on the Israelis' flag. Isn't that amazing how that works out? It's just such a coincidence. Fuck Israel, fuck their religion, and fuck their underhanded bullshit. They're working, they are a death cult. I don't care how many Jews get pissed off on that shit. I don't care. It's what it is. Your Saturnalian black robes and all of that crap, you're behind every fucking bit of it. And now you're destroying our country. And that's fine, go ahead. Go ahead. And the Shabbos Goy, yeah, that's the Gentiles that work for these motherfuckers through what's called Masonry, that help put these laws into place, through lawyers and that type of stuff to get this put into position. Because, see, then the demonic Jews turn around and offer them what's called a fellowship, right? Oh, here's some money for helping us. Or here, you'll have a place at the table when we take over the world. Wrong, wrong, wrong. You will be given nothing. You will be cut out because you do not have the DNA. In other words, as the Bible says at the end, sorry, you came to the party, but you were wearing the wrong clothes, so you can't partake. But thanks for selling us out, you fucking slime.
The American life, the American dream,
Yes, it's a fucking dream because you gotta be a fucking sleep to fucking believe it.
So, I don't want him to live the life I have lived.
You mean the life of taking your kid and traveling all the way from Africa to a fucking fence in Mexico? Oh, it's glorious.
So that's why I came here. If I lost him on the border, it will be bad for me.
But it was okay, you made it through Africa, and the tigers and lions didn't eat him. No other rival gang tribe tried to kill you. Just out of curiosity, I'm pretty sure you had to spend some money to get here. How did you get here? What airline did you get on to fly here? Because I don't think you walked out of Africa all the way up here. Nice jacket, by the way. It's very clean. To the gate. How did that work? How did you get here? Who gave you the money? And couldn't you have taken some of that money and put it toward your son's illness? Oh, I know. You know why that doesn't work out? Because it's a bullshit story.
I know you mentioned you're hoping that the border officials or whoever shows up here this morning in terms of a government official will come to you and come to your child and help and provide some aid. I wanted to ask you, you also mentioned that it has been a very difficult journey even through the country of Mexico. What happened to you?
Yeah, here we go. Yeah. So how did you get to Mexico to have to travel through Mexico? And couldn't in your journey, couldn't you have flown or drove straight through without stopping and without all this? Here comes the scary stuff, because they have to throw this in. Since you go, oh, he came so far. Oh, he came so far to be American. Oh, even though he never fought for it or paid any taxes. We gotta let him in. Think about the children. Who will be the next generation to say South Side?
We have been in Mexico. We live. It was really hard because of the police office. Every time they stop.
Oh, you mean the police officers over there don't take shit like the ones here do? Right, because over there, the police over there will bust your fucking jaw with a rifle butt. But over here, it's okay. You can go destroy the United States. Just go ahead, destroy Los Angeles, destroy Chicago, shit on the sidewalk, because that's what they do. You know, and oh, don't forget to pee in the street. That's lovely. That's what America was built on.
Stop the bus. They took all of the passenger money.
Now you're talking. Now that's a real police force. They took all the passengers' money. Can you imagine that? They must work for Israel.
So the first time we didn't knew it. After that we tried to hide our money. You can't travel without money. When you hide it, they have everything, every tool necessary to how can I say it? To stretch your bags, to look at under your luggage.
So you were saying that you were robbed of your money as you were traveling through the country here, Mexico.
Oh, boo-hoo. You ever lived in, wait till you live in America. Well, you won't have to worry about it because you'll never pay taxes. The taxpayers will pay for you, and you'll get all kinds of free stuff. Right? Guys, you don't understand what these people have done to the United States. Black Rock Jews are buying city blocks. They are buying city blocks. My friend got it. I saw it. He got one thing in the mail. It says, you know, anybody wants to sell their house. They're paying 2-3 times what the house is worth because nobody's ever going to live there again. Do you understand what's going on? They are seizing the property. Seizing the property. You will never, ever get it back. Because in their own writings, and I've showed this to you people a million times, they said when the Messianic time comes, Israel will have the whole world in its hands. But when is the Messianic time? And who's their Messiah? They said, we're our own Messiah. That's their words. They said, we're our own Messiah. So the Messianic time is whatever time they say it is. The Messianic meaning Messiah. But they're their own Messiah, so it doesn't really matter. They're making their move. They fucked the world's governments by creating a fake pandemic. They've shot people up with shit that's going to do God knows what. Heart problems for sure right now. And now they've created a surge of people to the border of the United States like they did in England with the Muslims. And I ain't got nothing against Muslims. I don't. Every one of them motherfuckers I ever met, and I can't say that I met like really bad ones, but every one of them I met, they seem to be more on the peaceful side. I don't know. I never seen no Muslims walking around trying to fuck people on business deals. I'm sure it happens. But they're not known for that. There's another group that's known for doing that stuff. I can't quite think of their name. They're somewhere in that general vicinity.
Okay, thank you for sharing. We're going to see if perhaps we can see if we see a border patrol or a CBP officer alert them that you say your child is sick. Best of luck to you. I know it's a very...
I'm sick. I'm getting ready to vomit over here. I got to go get a bucket. This shit's making me ill as fuck.
Very, very difficult and really desperate situation, folks who are watching us live. Again, we are here about 4 miles west of the San Ysidro port of entry, and I also want to point you in this direction as David Cradle, our photographer, zooms in. I was speaking to some of the migrants earlier. In fact, Alonzo, who I met yesterday, he tells me that every morning what they've started to do, and he has been here for about 5 days now, no, excuse me, 3 days, He says every morning they start to get organized. They being the migrants themselves, they start to organize themselves and get in certain lines, certain groups, according to the color of their wristband. Wristbands that were given to them by Border Patrol as they made their way into this territory which is international territory, by the way. These folks are in between the primary and secondary fence.
You know, their clothes are so clean for coming all that way and sleeping outside.
This is international territory. This is like a waiting area for all of these migrants who tell us that they are waiting to seek asylum into the United States, and these wristbands that were given to them as they got here, as they managed to get to this point by Border Patrol, they're color-coded. So some have green wristbands. Those who have green wristbands...
So all of these people here, which I'm sure there's more than what they're showing you here, they're not showing you a whole bunch because they don't want people to go, wow, that's fucked. They're just showing you this group right here. Believe me, it's much bigger than that. You know, see, it's on one hand they show you, oh, the poor kid just needs to get in. And then they tell you, yeah, there's a bunch of people there, but then they show you this and it doesn't look like a lot. See, so they're like mind fucking you by making you go, yeah, the kid's sick and he traveled so far. Oh, there's so many people, we just got to get this guy in. But then they do an aerial shot and they show you nobody's there.
I believe they are going to be among the first group, as these migrants have told me, to be taken to begin the processing. And then after that, you know, I'm not sure what color is next, but that's kind of what you're seeing, and that's what...
Well, pick one. Pink, yellow, or blue.
You see certain clusters of people kind of in a line formation, if you will, but without a doubt, it's this.
Yeah, they keep queuing on this guy. It's because of the jacket he was wearing. I'll show you. It's another one of the Israeli little pieces of fucking trash that they like to fucking wear. See how they got the camera on this guy right here? There's a reason for that.
Among the first group, as these.
This skin. The Jews use that skin. It's another one that are fucking. It's another one of their codes, like the hand codes. They use that skin because it represents Judah. Isn't it funny that Judah sounds more black than it does these Central fucking European Jews? But that's what it is. It represents the lion, which is Judah. That's why they keep queuing in on this, because they're doing a shout out to their buddies. Hey, it's us. We're fucking everybody over. That's just their thing. It represents the lion skin, which represents Judah, which is... Do you know another word that sounds like that? A group of people, Judah. No, it wouldn't be Vietnamese. Judah. No, it's not Australian. Oh, Jews. Yeah, there you go.
Migrants have told me to...
That's why they're queuing right in on that motherfucker.
To be taken to begin the processing.
Yeah. Shout out! Shout out to your fucking buddies, you scumbags. That's why they're queuing in on this guy. It ain't got nothing to do with him being black. It's got to do with the skin. For Judah and the Jews. It's not quite like Josie and the Pussycats. That was totally different.
And then after that,
this is more like Judah and the Jews.
I'm not sure what color is next, but that's kind of what you're seeing, and that's why you see certain clusters of...
See how they keep them in frame? It's their thing, man.
Of people kind of in a... line formation, if you will.
Notice, see how they keep the queue right in on the fucking skin, because it represents Judah, the lion, and the lion is fucking Israel, and Israel is Jews.
Well, but without a doubt, it's just for so many families a desperate situation.
It's pretty interesting that they keep the camera right on this guy, right, the whole time. It's very interesting.
Especially for those with young children. So
oh, no. And you see the cross hatching on the pants here for the seal? See it? None of this is by accident, guys. It's very subtle coding. That's all. It's coding. This is why, and I've never been a big proponent of meditation or any of that crap, but the fact of the matter is out here, it's nothing but code. That's all this is out here. You're a third-dimensional physical being that lives out here, but you live around code. When you look at plants and trees and all of that, birds and all of that, that was made by the Creator. The shit that you see with like houses and buildings, angles, you know, right angles and that type of stuff, geometrical stuff, that's all Mother's doing. Okay? That's all Mother stuff. That has nothing to do with nature. This is all Israeli destruction. That's why they're sitting there queuing in on the fucking skin. That's another one. They don't do it as much, but like when you watch David Icke or Alex the fuckweed butt fucking, and you know he used to fucking screw Joe Rogan, that fucking piece of filth. His guests will always have, like David Icke's famous for it. Now Jones has got other ones where they'll have a lion head on the back wall because it represents the lion, which represents Judah. See, all of this is like a big card trick. If you went to Vegas and you were sitting at a show and a guy was doing a trick and you stood up and you said, he's got the card in his hand, look. As soon as people see that card, the magic trick no longer works. It no longer works. And now you can't unsee it. So now that trick is forever ruined because the guy caught the perpetrators. I'm showing you exactly what's going on here, so the magic trick can't work.
We are keeping an eye on the situation here.
Yeah, but you are keeping an eye on it.
They tell me that they do have some leftover food from some of the...
Okay, let's see what they got on the writing here.
Humanitarian group.
Why are they queuing in on that? 2-1-6-6-103. Everything needs to be scrutinized when you watch this. Because they could have had somebody the day before come in and write something, and then, you understand what I mean? And then most people just think the news is scanning the camera. They're not.
Groups that show up on a daily basis here on the U.S. side.
I mean, for instance, what are the chances of whatever this thing being yellow and pink? Why is that there? What is it? Because we know yellow and pink represents sex or violence, right? Sometimes together, sometimes separate.
To provide food and water. Border Patrol also does provide water. We saw that happen yesterday. So
why are we providing anything on the other side of the fence? Why are we putting anything on the other side of the fence?
Oh, we are just keeping an eye on things here, and there's still a lot of unknown.
And these cunts, they're informed. They're tied in with the organization. They have to be, or they wouldn't get the job.
Questions though as to how they're being processed, when they're being processed, where they're being taken. We saw yesterday that some of the single men were.
You mean the single fighting age men? Yeah, know all about it. Oh, let's continue.
Taken to a different area as a way to separate single men from families. Perhaps Border Patrol is doing that to keep people.
Well, they already pushed through a shitload of kids that they've taken for sex slavery and sacrifice and all of that shit. That's why Hillary Clinton went down into Haiti to get all them kids out, remember? They need the kids, I told you. And they're coming for yours, trust me. Oh, you didn't get the shot? You're an unfit mother. All that will go into effect when their central bank goes into effect. Oh, you didn't get your COVID shot? Well, you don't have a bank account now. Thank you, Jews. Thank you, wonderful Jews.
A little bit more comfortable. So, guys, we are going to send things back to you in the studio for right now as we watch things unfold out here.
Yeah, and Elizabeth, we were talking a little bit earlier about more and more children were coming close to this site as
his fingers sticking out. Look at the smile on his face. Yeah, more and more kids. Yeah, ooh, great.
Day got near. You just saw, when you see that baby in that mother's arms right behind you.
Yeah, nice pedo glasses, dickweed.
There, it kind of breaks everybody's hearts.
Oh, I can't stand it. Oh, I'm all broke up. Fuck those kids. There's the finger. There, it's there. It's all code. Of course I care about those children. I'm not a monster. They created the crisis to get the fucking kids away from the parents. A lot of those people that are coming through that gate are fighting age men. Like the one I showed you the other day that they said, oh, he hates Jews. Yet he has a high marking of Kabbalah. He had the fucking Zayin Hebrew letter tattooed on his fucking hand. Wake the fuck up. Wake up. Who's she looking at? I'll knock that look right off your face, bitch.
In terms of vulnerable population, do the kids obviously fall into that category? You mentioned you're going to go talk to Border Patrol. When they see a child in that condition, do they send people to help? Or I see a lot of families holding little ones, and that one...
I don't care. Of course I don't want to see anything happen to them kids. Although I did see that video I posted yesterday. Did you happen to see the, it was epic. It was the epic, I called it the epic, what was that movie with that monster? Was it Predator? No, the one with Sigourney Weaver. Anyway, hang on, I'll show you. I mean, maybe this will help with the kids down there, I don't know, hang on a second. Here it is right here, this is great. It's coming up. I don't know what this stupid shit is. Here it is. Look, that's alien, ain't it? Wow, this is great. Maybe they should do this. Here it comes. See, that's a good father right there. Awesome field goal.
One that wasn't eating or drinking.
Right. That's a great observation. I mean, the children that you're seeing here in this area right now are with either their parent.
Yeah. Yeah, do that again, dickweed. Yeah, nobody caught that, huh? Watch your hand.
Are with.
There's the finger.
With either.
Uh-huh. Yeah, go throw some more code, you fucking filthy cunt.
For their parent.
Yeah. Do it again. Watch. Just watch.
Now, are.
There you go. Fuck you, you fucking filthy, filthy, filthy creature. Fuck, this is why I fucking hate Israel. This is exactly why I hate Israel. There you go. It's right there. I'm not making this stuff up. You're looking at it. Oh, the poor children. That's why I like the Predator video better when it booted the fucking kid like a football. This is all bad stuff, folks. All bad stuff. And it don't matter to me if this is real or it's digitally made or created. The bottom line is they're passing code. That's all. I'm not making it up. You can see it right there. They're not even natural actions. That's how it's easy to catch. So it looks at the camera.
Are.
Why would you do that? She didn't do anything with her hand.
With either their parents or a guardian. So they're not unaccompanied children. They are actually children with adults.
Yeah, sure.
We were told by you know, the Border Patrol and federal.
There you go. Yellow, pink, blue, green. Wow. And this is an interesting hood. Wow, that's just so amazing. Oh, wow, look at that. Pink, yellow, blue, and green. Amazing. Who'd have seen that coming?
Officials that had early on made the announcement of how they were going to begin identifying and processing these migrants, that yes, women and children in family clusters will be given priority, as well as unaccompanied minors. Now, unaccompanied minors are not.
How would there be unaccompanied a minor at this gate? Where would their folks be? How did they get there? Oh, it's called child trafficking. Ukraine's real big at that. Thank you, Ukrainian Jews. Thank you. They're the third biggest for child pornography and child trafficking. Wow. Thank you, Ukraine. Thank you so much for your war effort to try and create another Israel over there. Thank you so much.
Here that we know of, they'll be taken, or they are taken somewhere else, perhaps.
Yeah, they're taken somewhere else, all right. Yeah, they're taken somewhere else. Yeah, and then they're fucking bent over and tied up. Yeah, they're taken somewhere else, all right. Thank you, wonderful Jews.
To a more secured location. But
yeah, a more secured location. Yeah, in a fucking tractor trailer, driven across state lines. Yeah, they're taken somewhere else, all right. It's called child trafficking. How would a kid get here without a parent?
You're looking here at Alonzo. We talked to Alonzo yesterday, right?
Yeah, it's Alonzo. That's Alonzo. We talked to him yesterday. Yo, Lonnie, what up? Southside. Word.
Raul
and yo, Raul, what it is? Man, you got any of that? You got any of those joints with that ketamine in it, like they sell in Israel, man? Yeah, man, give me some of those. Yeah, Lonnie, what it be like? Yeah, what up? I'm gonna do my rendition of the Beatles. You know, doing it like a black Beatle. When I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary come to me, speak them words of wisdom, what it be?
Shali, if you remember, that's his son. That is his son, and he's with his son. And Alonzo, ¿qué color he's got a yellow wristband because he got here on Tuesday night, so yellow. And so when they're going to take him and to the processing area, or at least to begin the processing area, he's not sure.
Yeah, you know what they're going to do with Alonzo? That ain't his kid. No, Alonzo's up for fucking bidding. Yeah.
But there are certainly other people that have been here for now 5 days, guys.
Goodness. Just look at those little kids' eyes, just kind of trusting their parents or doing the right thing.
No, that kid never said that's my father. You didn't ask that kid. Fuck that. Those kids are there because they've been trafficked.
By them, and that's kind of what we're getting hopeful.
Hey, Fox News, you fucking Masonic organization of fucking dickweeds. Try telling the truth for a change.
Hopefully that little baby gets some kind of help from somebody. Elizabeth, thank you very much. Powerful stuff. Appreciate you.
No, ain't nothing powerful about it. It's nothing but death and deception. I'll do another Beatles one, like say, when I find myself in times of trouble. Oh, wait a minute, I already done that one. Wait a minute. Yesterday, my parole came through just yesterday. Yo, Lonnie, wait up.